This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Tuesday, July 14th, 2026 in the afternoon. Today, we track the critical cursor integrated development environment zero-day vulnerability, the launch of the 402 Foundation for AI Payments, Google DeepMind's call for a federal AI standards body, New York's data center moratorium, and the reveal of the world's most detailed human brainstem atlas. A critical situation has emerged regarding the cursor code editor. Researchers at MindGuard have publicly disclosed a high-severity vulnerability that allows an attacker to exploit the editor's integration with large language models. By manipulating the AI agent's context and permission scope, an attacker can force the editor to execute unauthorized code on the host machine. This is particularly dangerous because the agent has deep access to local file systems to facilitate development workflows. The disclosure highlights the precarious security posture of AI-driven coding tools. Because these platforms operate on high-trust assumptions, assuming that the AI assistant's internal instructions are always benign, they lack the hardened boundaries found in traditional IDEs. Users are strongly advised to audit their cursor configurations and restrict the agent's file system permissions until a definitive fix is deployed. This incident serves as a signal that the autonomous developer era is currently outpacing the security architectures required to contain it. The Linux Foundation has officially launched the X402 Foundation. Its mission is to standardize how artificial intelligence agents and applications handle internet-native payments. The protocol, contributed by Coinbase, is designed to allow agents to process transactions directly over HTTP. The initiative is backed by major financial and tech entities, including Visa, MasterCard, Stripe, Google, and Amazon Web Services. The goal is to move beyond manual authentication, enabling agents to negotiate and pay for resources, like application programming interface calls or compute cycles, autonomously. While this provides a seamless path for AI-driven commerce, it introduces a significant new attack vector, the automated, machine-speed financial transaction. Security teams should prepare for the possibility of agents being tricked into unauthorized spending if the underlying authorization protocols are not rigorously hardened. Demis Hassabis of Google DeepMind has publicly advocated for a US-led, federally overseen organization tasked with setting standards for frontier artificial intelligence models. This body would review models for cybersecurity and biological risks before they are deployed. The proposal suggests a model that starts as voluntary and shifts toward a mandatory requirement for any model operating at the national scale. This represents a pivot within the industry. Major labs are now actively inviting government oversight, likely to establish a regulatory moat that makes it harder for smaller, open-source competitors to reach the same level of capability. The debate is now shifting from should we regulate to who defines the standards for the next generation of intelligence. New York has officially become the first U.S. state to impose a one-year moratorium on the construction of large-scale data centers. The policy is a direct response to the massive energy and water demands created by the current AI hardware boom. Local authorities are concerned that the rapid expansion of these facilities is forcing utility companies to hike prices for residents and straining local infrastructure beyond its designed capacity. This move signals a growing physical resistance to the digital infrastructure expansion. It suggests that future compute capacity may be limited not just by chip supply, but by the physical environmental footprint permitted by local governance. Researchers at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, have released Anchor, the most detailed three-dimensional cellular atlas of the human brainstem to date. By mapping whole-brain MRI scans down to individual neurons across over 500 tissue sections, the team has created a verifiable resource for neuroscientific study. This atlas is expected to accelerate research into conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and sudden infant death syndrome. This is a vital contribution to medical science, providing the structural data necessary to calibrate future neurodiagnostic models.
Community chatter reflects a period of intense focus on security and the physical limits of tech. First, the security community is heavily discussing the distroless container trend. Practitioners are pushing to remove shells and package managers from base images to prevent lateral movement during a compromise, signaling that the industry is finally moving toward a least privilege infrastructure model. Second, there is significant chatter regarding a new technique called ghost approval. It uses symbolic links to trick AI coding assistants into overwriting sensitive system files, like secure shell configuration files, while the developer believes they are only editing project files. Third, the community is observing a surge in exploits targeting the Puma web server, specifically regarding source IP spoofing and memory buffer manipulation. Sysadmins are urged to audit their Ruby and Rack deployments immediately to account for these recent vulnerability disclosures. Finally, the security community remains highly vigilant regarding phishing campaigns using generative tools, as attackers continue to iterate on social engineering tactics that bypass standard email filtering through highly personalized, machine-generated content.